I feel like we knew this was going to be a dogfight. I have a lot of respect for Troy and the program that coach has built over there. You know, they're ranked top 15 in the mid-major poll at the beginning of the year for a reason. They're very physical. They got a lot of size where they can dominate you, but they also have quickness. So they're trying to get out in transition and score quickly in transition. I feel like we did a lot of preparation going into this game, but you don't really know what it's like until you get into it. So it took us a little bit in the first quarter to kind of figure out what the physicality looked like, what that quickness looked like. And by the time we adjusted, it was too late. I feel like spotting them 14 points in the first quarter, you can't do that against a really talented team. Now, credit to our team. I'm proud of them for how they fought back. For us to win the following 3 quarters, you know, is a testament to the fight that this group has. I think this group is very resilient, but we also have to be focused and locked in. You can't just have, you know, fight and resiliency. You also have to have a preparedness. You also have to have an ability to come out in a game and do it from the tip. And that's what we've been talking about a lot in practice. And this game is a perfect example of that. If you don't start the game well against a talented team like this, you can get in a hole pretty quickly. And I think that we tried a lot of different things to slow them down. Really proud of our defensive effort in the third. I think the fourth got away from us a little bit. As a coach, we're trying to go with our offensive lineup a little bit to try and get points and try to close that gap. But as far as, you know, facing a team like that this early, it's only going to make us better down the stretch. And I think there's going to be a lot of moments in film that we're going to be able to go back and watch, and we're going to be able to get better as a team because of this game.
Questions? We're going to Sigrun first, right? Sigrun, you had to kind of play a lot as a freshman. And so now you're seeing some of this freshman class to be able to make some of the strides they've had to grow a little bit in some of these instances. Like, how good was that for you, and how good can that be for some of these freshmen that are having to play a lot early on this year?
It's definitely good for them to get this experience now, so they'll be ready for conference. They're doing great things, and they're growing every day. So I'm just really proud of them for how they respond to everything.
When you cut it to 5, and then was it one of those where with that offensive lineup you just couldn't make the stop, you couldn't get it closer there, or what went into that?
I believe on that one, it was they went into the post and they scored in the blocks, and I believe it was an and one with number 12 on the left block. They're a great team. It's hard to really hold them down. I feel like when we cut it to 5, they're going to go to their bread and butter. I think we threw them off a little bit with the zone that we put in, but then it's just like anything. They're going to get adjusted to the zone a little bit better. I feel like once we let that lead go, though, it kind of snowballed a little bit for us. And what we've got to learn is we've got to be able to take punches and then throw them right back. And I think in a game like this, when you're able to cut it down to 5, if they throw a haymaker, we got to respond, and we got to be able to throw one right back. And, you know, that's on me as well. As a coach, I've got to have some plays where we're getting set and we're looking for what you would call automatic scores. I think that with our personnel being different than what we expected coming into the season, we're having to figure out who those go-to plays are and who those go-to players are. And so, you know, when we're able to cut it to 5, I think that it's one of those things. If they score, we've got to keep on the aggressiveness, and we weren't able to do that, and we weren't able to respond.
Deandra, obviously, the injury to Khalifa happened, 2 days before the season actually started, basically. So you've gone through the entire preseason expecting to kind of have that. You kind of knew Taylor wasn't there. Mm-hmm. How much does losing her so close kind of make you kind of have to like restart everything that you thought about, that you thought this team was going to be?
Well, I think you're able to see how dynamic Kaya is in our offense with being a downhill threat and being able to just score 1v1. That's the same thing with Khalifa. You know, she's able to stretch the floor from 3, but she's also able to be a mismatch for any team that's out there. So then you have to bring 2, and then when you bring 2, you got knockdown shooters that are spread around. So I think we're just trying to find some additional players that can really go get a bucket 1v1, and they're going to have to bring some help. And for the time being, you know, Sigrun's had a great start. We talked about her being more aggressive. I even saw her on the blocks today, which was good. She was posting up a little bit, which at the beginning, when I was recruiting her to stay, I told her I wanted her to post up, and I think that almost encouraged her to leave. So I'm glad she's doing that. But our freshmen are dynamic players. Our freshmen as well can go get a bucket. I think that KK played great tonight. I thought, Kaylin Farrell is KK, but I thought Kaylin Farrell came in and gave us some big minutes. It's going to be getting this group confident in what we're trying to do. I think that, scoring the 66 points felt good, that we were hitting shots. It was more of our defense on this side. And being a defensive coach, that's the frustrating piece. I want to go back and, 24 points was the most points they scored in any quarter, and that was in the first. So there's a few things that, I wish I could have done differently to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit in that first. But when they're banking threes in, sometimes that is their night. So.